Thank God. Thank God we have a fighting chance to have a real election in 2026. Thank God we have someone who is on the offense, fighting for democracy and not just defensively responding or going on television throwing an F-bomb. I'm looking at you, Chuck Schumer. The person who I'm talking about that I am grateful for right now is Gavin Newsom. Yes, my friends, I'm talking about the governor of California. Not only is he massively trolling Donald Trump, just beating him down relentlessly on social media, but he's actually doing something with his legislature that might just neutralize the bullshit gerrymandering they are in the process of effectuating down in Texas. Guys, this is huge. And I know there are probably folks who are thinking, oh, sure, Gavin Newsom is trying to save democracy, trying to defeat Trump by making sure Dems take the House. Some people are saying, sure, he's doing that because he wants to be president. Okay, guys, fuck you for even thinking that. No, I'm kidding. Let me just say, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm not going to swear now. I'm full of the F-bombs. I'm going to get them out of my system. Listen, there are people in this country who are bending down and kissing Donald Trump's toes. There are people on their knees giving him flippin' blowjobs practically to make money. And instead, you have the nerve to criticize Gavin Newsom for standing up and fighting for our democracy because you think he has this ulterior motive to be president? What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you is your minds are fakakta because you are dealing with, and I don't blame you if you're thinking this way, you're dealing with the onslaught of negativity and the expectation for perfectionism in the face of what we have right now, which is full-blown fascism. You know, I was talking about this on the show from the beginning. And it doesn't matter what I was saying. I was trying to get everyone used to the fact of what was coming. And it's really ugly where we are. And we have someone, and not just Newsom, but I'm focusing on Gavin Newsom right now, who is fighting fire with fire. And so I want to share with you what the hell is going down today. I am super excited. So what I want you to do right now as I'm talking is make a notation somewhere that at 11:30 today Pacific time. So that is 2:30 if you're on the East Coast, and you do the math if you are one of my viewers in Canada or in England or New Zealand or Australia or wherever you are watching from. Do the math, but again, 11:30 Pacific time, Gavin Newsom is going to be giving a press conference. Now, so what? I'll tell you so what. Let's start here with I'm going to share with you a little bit of what Gavin said on video. We can watch that. And then I'm going to go through the insane, juicy mockery of Trump and demonstrating for you why the Democrats must be on the offense, not just defensively going, oh my God, Donald Trump's doing something illegal. This sucks for us. No, offense, Chuck Schumer. Okay, let's play Newsom right now.
This week, we're going to announce the campaign. Next week, the legislature is going to move this forward with 2/3. We're going to get it in a special election on November 4th, and we're going to fight fire with fire. We're going to neutralize whatever Abbott does next week or whenever they move forward with the next special session. We'll talk about that in a second. The likelihood that they ultimately will be successful in Texas and California will move forward.
So what is he talking about that he's making an announcement? Well, that announcement is happening today. But Newsom is having fun with it. So let's start. Let's start there because I want to show you Newsom's got game. So here's where it all started. This is actually a photo of Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom. You see Melania there. And I think it was this year, like January or February. And I don't know what they're saying. I'm going to blow this up for you. But you can see Donald Trump is on some kind of lifts because he's leaning in. He is leaning forward. He is listing like the Tower of Pisa. And I don't like to make fun of people's bodies, but I will say that there's something weird going on with the angle at which Donald Trump is standing and the fact that he does look like a backwards letter D. You get Gavin Newsom standing up there and pointing right at Donald Trump's chest. Okay, so there is that. What is this? This is Newsom's posture right now. Now let's look. I'm going to again make these a bit bigger. I'm going to start August 11th, which was Monday. Are you guys with me? This is fun. And I'm going to not read this in Donald Trump's voice. I'm going to read it in a voice mocking Donald Trump because, of course, that's what Gavin Newsom's press office out on Twitter and Blue Sky are saying. So let's go. This is Monday, August 11th. Donald Trump has 24 hours left to respond to Governor Newsom's letter. If he does not stand down, there will be a very important press conference this week with a major announcement. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So what was that letter? Let's blow that up. Okay. This is the letter. And the press office says, read the letter. Okay, so that Gavin Newsom just sent Donald Trump. Dear Mr. President, I am writing to ask you to call on the governor of Texas and other red states who are acting on your request to draw new congressional maps through an unprecedented mid-decade hyper-partisan gerrymander to rig the upcoming midterm elections. To stop those efforts, you are playing with fire, risking the destabilization of our democracy while knowing that California can neutralize any gains you hope to make. This attempt to rig congressional maps to hold onto power before a single vote is cast in the 2026 election is an affront to American democracy. This is not what the founders envisioned, and California cannot stand idly by as this power grab unfolds. I do not do this lightly, as I believe legislative district maps should be drawn by independent, citizen-led efforts, as we have done in California for the last 2 decades. If you will not stand down, I will be forced to lead an effort to redraw the maps in California to offset the rigging of maps in red states. But if the other states call off their redistricting efforts, we will happily do the same, and American democracy will be better for it. Okay, guys? That is what Newsom said. That was the letter from Monday. Guess what happens next? Here we go. Donald, this is a tweet, so I'm going to read it in an all cap voice. Donald Trump, if you do not stand down, we will be forced to lead an effort. Okay, you saw this one, to redraw the district maps in California to offset the rigging of maps in red states. But if the other states call off their redistricting efforts, we will do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then that same feed put up the California flag. You can see this California Republic. What happens next? We get, oh my God, we get insane trolling. So there is a picture here from the Newsom press office, and it says, new data shows inflation is soaring as Trump's tariffs intensify. So you have the consumer price index, which of course Donald Trump is going to cancel. gathering data for because it doesn't look good on the left. And you have coffee prices going up, beef and veal, cookies, peanut butter, canned vegetables, and on and on. And on the right of this chart, there's a picture of Donald Trump pointing, and I did that. Excellent troll. But there was more because this is on Tuesday. Again, on Tuesday, Newsom continues. And here we go. Donald Trump, the lowest polling president in recent history. This is your second to last warning. The next one is the last one. Stand down now, or California will counterstrike legally to destroy your illegal crooked maps in red states. Press conferences coming, hosted by America's favorite governor, Gavin Newsom. Final warning next. You won't like it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Damn, I love the mockery. So that was Tuesday in the morning. Okay, then there was more. Newsom wasn't just mocking Trump from the press office. He's also pointing out how well California is doing to preemptively, offensively deal with the claims that they're making about their city. So this was also Tuesday. California crime way down in 2024. Murders, robberies, assault, all down. Meanwhile, crooked Trump sends in troops to fight crime in Dem cities. A lie. While GOP states have much higher crime rates. He even pardoned the January 6th thugs. Total fraud. I think you might be liking this. Let's go. Let's continue. This is one of my favorites. So, and I'm going to share this with you in a moment. Carolyn Leavitt had promised information that she would be providing to the press and has not done that. I'll share that in a minute. But what you see here is a photo of the former pink lady. They have a new, younger model from North Korea who appears on television reading the regime's propaganda. And here was what Gavin Newsom's press office said. Glorious leader is entitled to all treasures of the realm, especially from universities. And more. Newsom on the offense. Donald Trump's America, the poor getting poorer, the rich getting richer. And here he shows a chart under the big beautiful bill. The poor got poorer while the rich get richer, and he shows the CBO information. And again, on topics we care about, he says the pro-life party strikes again. And what he has retweeted is this: Republicans have just killed, through Medicaid cuts, a birthing center that was slated to open in Louisville, Kentucky. And now let's get into the heart of it. His main focus for today's press conference: to slam Donald Trump and save our democracy. Republicans openly celebrating that they are rigging the game next November. California will counter if Trump's Texas power grab is successful. And what he's sharing here is, and this is important, the Texas Senate, not the Texas House, but the Texas Senate had a quorum and they were able to pass the gerrymander bill there. The House has not done it yet, but as Newsom suggests, they probably will. Okay, and then we have yesterday, Newsom, his press office, all caps. Final warning, Donald Trump, maybe the most important warning in history. Stop cheating or California will redraw the maps. And guess who will announce it this week? Gavin Newsom. Many say the most loved and handsome governor and a very powerful team. Don't make us do it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then these start to escalate. So that was yesterday. And then, amazingly, and this is huge, from Politico, and this is what Newsom shares. A good government group just sided with California, calling our redistricting a counterbalance to Trump's push to steal seats in Texas and across the country. Even watchdogs see the game Trump is playing. And now we get last night, Donald Taco Trump, as many call him, missed the deadline. California will now draw new, more beautiful maps. They will be historic as they will end the Trump presidency. Dems take back the House. Big press conference this week with powerful Dems and Gavin Newsom, your favorite governor. That will be devastating for MAGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GN. Okay, so that was last night. And there is more. Newsom, of course, then mocks the governor of Florida. So let's look at this. This is DeSantis. So DeSantis had said California is gerrymandered. They have a commission, but that's a ruse. They have Democrats on the commission and so on. And so Newsom says, this thirst queen, the thirst queen has emerged. We will not be lectured on democracy by someone who lost to a cartoon mouse with gloves. That was about the Disney fight. Okay. And if you don't know what thirst queen is, I think the kids talk about like a thirst trap or a thirst queen. It means that if you're thirsty, it means you're desperate for attention, often from the opposite sex or the same sex, depending on your mode of being. Okay. So what do we have here? We've got more. This was from yesterday. Now we're getting to the 13th, right? So this all started on Monday. Now we're on Wednesday. Huge historic event, Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Pacific in Los Angeles. A beautiful rally / press conference with Gavin Christopher Newsom and strong Dems. Democrats will destroy Greg Abbott's totally rigged maps. Tremendous work is being done. Donald Trump, the criminal president, get ready for the most beautiful payback you have ever seen. Could be the worst day of your life. As your presidency ends, Dems retake Congress. America will be liberated. Liberation Day. Many are calling it. Thank you for your attention to this matter, GCN. Okay. You think that's it? Oh, no, my friends. So this is, and again, we're going to show you the Leave It video. So this, Newsom says, 24 hours later, and Caroline Levitt still hasn't sent the evidence she promised to send. These people are liars. Again, picking up on the Donald Trump rhetorical device of giving people names instead of Caroline. Carol lying. That's pretty good. And just so you know, Newsom, I was sharing from the press office, which is kind of the place that does all this mocking. I also am now sharing, the press office shared Newsom himself saying this, because he's actually paying attention, not just to fighting Trump. Newsom writes, I just approved the deployment of California resources to Puerto Rico ahead of Tropical Storm Erin. We're glad to help coordinate life-saving response to Americans in harm's way. Okay, and now there is more. So this is last night. Okay, guys, we got, wow. Tomorrow's history, wow. Tomorrow history will be made. Caroline Leavitt will have no answers for the supposed fake media about California's beautiful maps. People are saying they are the greatest maps ever created, even better than Christopher Columbus's. Donald, the failure Trump, be warned. Tomorrow will be the worst day of your life, all because you missed the deadline. Liberation Day for America. Guys, the mocking goes on. Okay, fine. Here we are. This is 8 hours ago. I just did this screenshot. So this is last night still. As many know, Donald Taco Trump, author of The Art of the Deal, a book he should return to the library, just missed the best deal in history. He always chickens out. Tariffs, China, but tariffs, sorry, I got lost here. Tariffs, China, but even a chicken should know a good deal when he sees one. I, your favorite governor, Gavin Christopher Newsom, offered the best, most amazing deal in history. Stop rigging Texas maps, and California won't make ours more beautiful. Sadly, but no surprise, Donald was too weak, little hands, to even write me back. No deal. And no deal equals perfect, beautiful maps that will end his presidency. Soon, he will not be 47. Patriots will, sorry, guys. Oh my God. Patriots will take back Congress. Many say I should run for speaker. I won't. Make the maps great again. Liberation Day tomorrow. Thank you. GCN. Okay, guys, we're getting there. And what are we doing? He has the eyeballs. This is the Election Rigging Response Act. He's going to introduce in California, right? This we found out early this morning. And holy shit, this is my flippin' favorite here, guys. Newsom's press office 5 hours ago tweeted out a single word, my friends, and it was covfefe and more. Okay, this was 8 a.m. our time, just about an hour and a half ago. Make the maps great again. Big, beautiful rally today. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Dude's got game. So I love it. And again, for those of you who are like, oh my God, this guy is just an attention whore. I mean, Gavin Newsom. So what? What are you doing? What is anyone else doing? Yes, bodies in the streets. If we have bodies and we want to be in the streets, what are leaders doing? Leaders need to act offensively. And before I get to Carolyn Leavitt and that little presser, the press secretary making that promise that she doesn't fulfill, I want to show you the difference between the approach when you're on the offense as opposed to when you're on the defense. Here is the defense. Let's listen to Chuck Schumer.
Have you heard, do you think that he's going to end up going to Congress? Because he can't revoke complete home rule authority for DC without actually going to Congress first. He can't even extend this past 30 days without going to you all first. Have you heard that that's what he plans on doing? And if he went to Congress and said, you know what, there's this crime emergency, we need the National Guard out there longer, we need to take over Washington, DC, would you grant it?
No fucking way. We'll fight him tooth and nail. And right now, as you said, he can only do it for 30 days, or now I guess it's 26 or 27, whatever. And he needs to get Congress to approve it. And not only are we not going to approve it, but I have there are some Republicans who don't like it either.
Okay, Chuck, look at me. Your shoulders are slumped. You're looking like this. And you're trying to say there are even Republicans who won't like it? Fuck you. I don't care about them. They haven't stopped him. They have pushed through his dangerous fascist budget bill, which is the reason why we have concentration camps right now in this country, where in Florida, what they call alligator Alcatraz. People are getting very sick and they will die of diseases. And that is why when they opened it, I told you it was going to be like a death camp. I told you, and I got the disease wrong, but I told you that it was typhus that spread through the concentration camps in Germany and Poland. And that is what Anne Frank died of. So the deal is we have death camps in America. And Chuck, what the fuck have you done about that? What have you done offensively to fight this man? Stop holding hands with Republicans. They're not going to help us, Chuck. Now, I'm going to play that little bit from Caroline Leavitt that Newsom was talking about for you.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. So Gavin Newsom has said that California is going to sue in response to the government's demand for $1 billion from UCLA over the DOJ's anti-Semitism findings. Newsom has called this extortion and ransom. So I'm wondering what the White House's response is to Newsom on UCLA.
Bring it on, Gavin. This administration is well within its legal right to do this, and we want to ensure that our colleges and our universities are respecting the First Amendment rights and the religious liberties of students on their campuses, and UCLA has failed to do that. And I have a whole list of examples that I will forward to Gavin Newsom's press office if he hasn't seen them himself.
What list, Caroline Leavitt? She hasn't provided that list of examples. And also, Nazi lady, Ava Braun Barbie, with your cross, you do you, but back off using Jews to do what you're doing, your authoritarianism. We have become now used by the Trump administration. You can't trust him. You can't trust Netanyahu. These people are maniacal. Netanyahu is, a genocidal murderer and crook, it turns out. And as a Jewish American, I want to make it absolutely clear that I denounce what the Israeli government is doing. The only hope moving forward, although at one point, I believe there could be a two-state solution. I think right now there needs to be, first of all, a massive effort to rebuild Gaza. I also think we need to think about, I wish Israel would do this, creating a true egalitarian state that is not religion-based. First of all, a lot of the Jewish people there are either, whether they're religious, practicing, or just culturally Jewish, don't like what is going on. There was a doctor who just got her medical degree who had a t-shirt on. I think she had the gown on and got her medical degree. I think it was yesterday or this week. And you know how the Hippocratic Oath is first do no harm? Her shirt said first do no, and she crossed out harm and she wrote genocide. There needs to be a whole truth and reconciliation process. And I am now of the belief in one state, not two, one state where people who have historical and religious ties to the land can share that state, because that's where I am. But anyway, I'm just going to say this is not good for the Jews trying to use us, to use anti-Semitism, which exists, just like racism exists, just like sexism exists, but to zero in on that and use that as the cudgel to control what universities do, to shake down universities and businesses, not good for us. Now, I have got other topics for you. And before I pivot, I want you to know that we've got to keep front and center in our minds the Epstein files. While all of this is going on, the press seems to have turned their attention away. If I were running a news program every day, I would have an interview with or a segment on Ghislaine Maxwell, the victims, Donald Trump's involvement. I would not let this drop. And so I am not, and I am talking to you about that now for that reason. Now, I have what I want to share this with you right now is what's going on right now in the streets in Washington, D.C. Now, I know we talked about 2 nights ago the National Guard being there, and I want to show you some images from last night. But before I do that, I want to share something that you may have heard about, and that is the so-called pink polo guy, right? Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm going to show you a video. This was from a few nights ago of a guy that people are calling the pink polo guy. It turns out the shirt he's wearing is not a polo. It looks like a Guyabera shirt. More on that in a second. Let me show you this. This is a guy who was not behaving well. He looks like he was drunk and hungry and went to Subway to get a sandwich and then got into a confrontation with the, I think either the CPB, Customs and Border Patrol, or maybe it was the National Guard, some federal forces, gets in a confrontation, and you'll have to see what happens next.
In our city.
They're what?
You see these fascists right here in our
Fascists?
city? Fuck you! Fuck you, fascists! Shame! 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 Shame!
Y'all laughing, but that's the truth though. We really talking real shit.
Shame!
Y'all need to do some background studying about the Federal Bar Association.
Keep watching, guys.
Hey man,
What vehicle?
The ones they pulled up in. These fascists.
Oh, the fascists tried to the federal buy investigators.
Where did they? What vehicles did they show up in?
They showed up in unmarked.
Where are they? Where?
Right, it's the white truck right there. The white car in front of there.
That white Jeep over there.
All the white cars.
All those white cars.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at him. Sorry. Now he's across the street.
Hey, Daddy, come on, man. Let's go get him, bro. Let's get that nigga.
No, you don't, Gavin. He's super bad. No.
Bro. It's not working.
Keep watching the guy.
Stop the drama. Little blue. It's not fucking worth it. Come on,
Joe Shutting, it's not worth it. They're trying to get him to back off.
Take a fucking way. You busy?
There's more.
Motherfucker! Oh!
Oh! It's fucking gun! Fucking gun! Fucking gun!
Okay. So this guy, that last segment where you see him throwing his sub at the federal officer and then taking off after him, that was going around on the internet, and he was being called Pink Polo. That was what they're calling him. And then someone realized from that other shot, I think that you can see that it might not actually be a pink polo. So let's look at the commentary is, I thought this was a pink polo too, but this guy's style is more complex than the grainy video shows from afar. It's a linen cutout pattern Guyabera style shirt, and the silver chain ties the look together. Okay, doesn't really matter what he's wearing. I also wanted to know what kind of sandwich it was, like what was on that Subway sandwich. Again, not the point. But the point is the police did, or the federal officers did catch up with him, and he has been charged. And Janine Pirro has even paid attention to this. He could spend up to a year in prison. And I would fucking like to know why Donald Trump, I guess I've got a lot of F-bombs today. I would like to know why Donald Trump, who was found guilty on 34 felony charges, right, by a jury in New York, and the conviction was entered by the judge, he spent no time in prison. I would like to know why Donald Trump, who orchestrated an insurrection, who hid documents in his bathroom that were of national security importance, the Donald Trump who tried to rig the election by pressuring people in Georgia to find votes. I would like to know why, I could go on, Donald Trump has not only not spent a day in prison, but he's walking around right now, an adjudicated rapist from the E. Jean Carroll case, owing her $83+ million. And if you say he's not a rapist, I'm going to have to tell you that, yes, the jury found that he had penetrated her without her consent with his fingers. And so if you want to say that's not rape, then you're going to have to disagree with what the judge said, because colloquially that is considered rape, even though if under New York law, they call that sex abuse. Why is this man not just walking around, but have more consolidated power than ever? I would like to know that, but let's look at the charges for Pink Polo. So when he was arrested, he was charged with assault for shouting at the Customs and Border Patrol officer and throwing a submarine sandwich into his chest. And when he was being processed and they asked him, he said this, which should go down in history: I did it. I threw the sandwich. my friends. And I asked, what kind of sandwich? And Josh Dowsey of Talking Points Memo responded, I think perfectly, and he gets the trophy. Not all heroes wear capes. Wah, wah. You get that idea. Okay. So that's pretty flippin' funny, maybe, but it is scary. And I want to show you, though, some news here or some images here of people on the streets showing you, I guess I would call it a play in 3 acts. Last night, people shouting in Washington, D.C., get off the streets. Okay, first video here.
Get off our streets! Get off our streets! Get off our streets!
Why won't you show your face? Like you look yourself in the mirror and think I did a good job today?
Go left! Go left! Turn left!
Go left.
Turn left! Trying to get people to turn left to not go down 14th Street. There's a random search right now. They've pulled over about 6 cars. We've seen 2 people get detained, one by ICE, one by the police. Taken, no rhyme or reason. Go left! Turn left!
Hey!
Turn left! Go left!
Absolutely! Still got time to do this, and I'm a fucking fed! Listen, you motherfucker!
Okay, so 800 national troops at the Capitol. Checkpoints where you stop every single person as a sweep have not been found to be constitutional. So illegal. I know what you're saying, not with this Supreme Court, but I just want to let you know that. Let's keep playing this. This is still a play in 3 acts, Act 1. Oh, Act 1. Act 2.
None of us want you here. Go home. You are surrounded by a mob of people that hate you. Go home.
Leave us alone.
Okay, Act 2. And then when they leave, Act 3. Okay. So glad that people aren't afraid to stand up and hit the streets. Guys, that number is really true. I believe that the research Erica Chenoweth is well documented. Until we get 11 million people out there, we're not going to be able to resist this movement toward complete totalitarian control. And we see it happening, not just on the streets, but with Donald Trump, as you know, now requiring the Smithsonian to edit its museum displays, including the Museum of African American History, to make it palatable to Donald Trump, who doesn't know anything about history. So this is all on every level trying to control the streets, control the information that we teach at universities, control the information, at, shutting down things like PBS, controlling what is said in museums to align with propaganda and not reality. We are not in a good place. And that brings me, I will cheer you up, I promise. That brings me to an update on the very bad guy who was hired, the very young and unimpressive economist who had no publications and only 1 citation. Remember this dude? E.J. Antoni. We talked about him already, but if you can believe it, it gets even worse. So to refresh your memory, the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, who was a very well-respected, published and very well-respected economist with a ton of history. Donald Trump did not like the numbers the BLS was coming up with, gets rid of her, and nominates this guy, E.J. Antoni, who was recommended by the Heritage Foundation. There he is. So fine, okay. And then we already know about how he came from the Heritage Foundation, who authored Project 2025. And you already know how dumb he was. We talked about this other day, not knowing how to read statistics. And I think I'm going to make this one bigger. We already heard about how even people associated with the Heritage Foundation don't want to be associated with them anymore because this bozo is running it. But did you know icing on this poisonous cake is this? See the little yellow circle at the bottom? And I'm reading this. This is a post from Justin Wolfers. He's not the only one who has noticed this. So I'm not, this is fully substantiated. Okay. So what Wolfers, the econ professor from University of Michigan, said, just an honest labor statistician collecting the data, crunching the numbers and reporting them fairly, and definitely not an extremist ideologue with an axe to grind, unshackled from respect for the law or political norms. That's his sarcasm. That circle is the guy right there. That is EJ. Let me give you a close-up, okay? Hold on one second. I'm going back. So this guy here, EJ Antoni, there he is. That's him. I think you know where that was. He was at the January 6th riots, the attack on the Capitol. He's claiming he just stopped by. Does that look like a guy just stopping by there? He's enmeshed. Guys, it's flipping worse. It's worse than this. I just saw this and it takes a lot to shock me. This is yesterday. This is from the Daily Beast. This guy, EJ Antoni, has a giant picture of Hitler's favorite ship on his wall. And not only is it on his wall, but this is what he does. I mean, I think this is behind him when he does interviews. That is the impression I am getting. This is Hitler's favorite ship. I don't got much to say to you beyond that. The fact that this guy is Trump's nominee. Being a Hitler lover is a feature, not a bug. You know, maybe listen to women. Remember when Donald Trump nominated Brett Kavanaugh and ignored and didn't withdraw his nomination in spite of the credible testimony of Christine Blasey Ford? I think you do. Do you remember all of the other men who have a history of either violence against women or sexual assault who he nominated? Why does he do this? Because he has the same history. They won't say anything about him. So why does he often appoint people who are Nazi sympathizers or white supremacists? Birds of a feather, my friends. This is what is happening now. And I am waiting for more people to speak out against this nomination. Now, let's talk a little bit more. Let's pivot a little bit more to compare January 6th, when Donald Trump encouraged and helped stir up people to try to interfere in the peaceful transfer of power, and how he not only didn't call in federal forces, he claimed he couldn't, and how he also pardoned those people, right? There's a connection here. I just showed you EJ Antoni. And also I showed you what was happening on the streets in DC. So I want to share with you Officer Daniel Hodges. He was on CNN talking about how disgusted he is. He is someone who was a victim during the January 6th attacks. Let's play this.
Sure would be nice if they backed the police then, right? That was an actual emergency that they could have activated the National Guard for, is sending them to back us up when we were trying to protect the Capitol, protect the Vice President, protect Congress. But, Trump sat in his little chair and watched us get, beaten on Fox. I had someone try to gouge out my eyes, said someone beat me in the head with my own baton. But apparently that wasn't a national emergency. It's interesting that spitting is now something that we can use to justify, extreme use of force. I don't understand how these people oscillate between these value systems. They're supposed to back the blue, and then they abandon us on the 6th. But now that it's convenient for them politically, they're all about it. It's they don't have a consistent ethical framework.
Do you think it's hypocritical?
Yeah, absolutely.
Officer Daniel Hodges, it's great to have you as always, even in your personal capacity. Thank you for joining us tonight.
That's what you can say. You think it's hypocritical? I want to share with you right now. Okay, I want to share with you right now, in case you forgot who Daniel Hodges was. Talk about a hero. Okay, I'm going to share this screen. This was him after January 6th. And I'm going to play that for you.
Obviously, the video has been making the rounds around the whole world. And but all my family and friends and even strangers have been making their well-wishing known and reaching out. And it's been very heartening and very humbling to hear from everybody. So I'm doing okay. That was, we were just fighting it with everything we had to push it back. I got pinned to the doorway. They ripped my mask off, stole my equipment, beat me up, sprayed me with everything. Thankfully, I was able to get out before any permanent damage was done. At that moment in the hallway when I was pinned, I wanted to. I was there to do my best to keep him out, obviously. And the way I was doing that was with my body. Unfortunately, at that moment, my arms were pinned. I was unable to defend myself. So you saw the guy in front of me rip my mask off. He was also able to rip away my baton. He beat me in the head with it. And once he got my mask off, I was sucking down tear gas and pepper spray and all that stuff. So, it was. I was glad I was able to be there and help when I could, and I was glad to be able to get out there when I could. Someone managed to get his thumb in my right eye, and start gouging it out. Thankfully, I was able to shake him, but that was the second time where I was afraid of, that might be the end, or I might be maliciously disfigured. But just the cognitive dissonance and the zealotry of these people is unreal, because they were waving, the thin blue line flag while telling us that we're traitors and calling themselves patriots, and later on beating us with the flags. And I had one guy yelling at me, telling me that he paid for my gear for me to give it to him. We had alleged veterans telling us that they fought for their country, they would never hurt us, but at the same time they were there hurting us. We had the usual conspiracy theorists there telling us that we were the traitors. We should go in there and arrest the Congress for them. We should be joining forces.
And how do you have faith after seeing all that and how you were treated, to keep coming back to this job and doing what you do?
Oh, sure. If it wasn't my job, I would have done that for free. It was absolutely.
I'm sorry, there was the end that he just said. It was absolutely my pleasure to crush a white nationalist insurrection. I just cut him off. That's what he said. He thought he was crushing a white nationalist insurrection. What does it say, my friends, that Donald Trump pardoned those people? The minute those pardons were issued, why weren't we all in the streets? Guys, look at me. We're in a bad place. We're in a bad place. I don't know what happens next, but God damn it, I have Gavin Newsom's back, and anyone who will do what we can do to make sure we can at least get the House back, to make sure that we have a free and fair election in 3 years. And I don't know. I'm doubtful. But again, this man, this dictator, this Mussolini, Putin wannabe, guess what? He's old. He's unhealthy. Maybe he's one hamburger away from a heart attack. I don't know. But what I do know is on Friday, he is headed to Alaska. And you wouldn't believe it. But I think I was saying, is he going to give Alaska back to Putin? Turns out that is on his mind. And I really want Lisa Murkowski. We criticized Newsom for taking advantage of the situation. Where the hell is Lisa Murkowski? This would be a really good time for her to change parties and caucus with the Democrats, wouldn't it? Where are the people who are paying attention? Now, let me show you what's going on in Alaska. Adam Kinzinger said this. So hang on. Trump is going to offer to open up fucking Alaska to the Russians? Wow. Let's see Republicans defend this. So I'm reading this article clip here. Donald Trump is preparing to offer Vladimir Putin access to rare earth minerals to incentivize him to end the war in Ukraine. The U.S. president will arrive at the much anticipated meeting with his Russian counterpart on Friday, armed with a number of money-making opportunities for Putin. Did you hear that? Follow the money. Money-making opportunities for Putin. They will include opening up Alaska's natural resources to Moscow and lifting some of the American sanctions on Russia's aviation industry. The Telegraph can reveal. Do you hear that? That's a sound of my eyes blinking and my brain not malfunctioning, but waiting for someone to do something. And again, not defensive, offensive. There's no turning back. We are in the fight of our lives. And all of us before the election knew, including Kamala Harris and everyone else, that this was the danger. But we're here. Now, right before Crazy Town, guys, I've got one more thing. I always want to remind you how brutal what is going on with the Border Patrol is. I mean, yeah, you saw them chase down a guy, pink polo or pink Guyabera, who threw a sandwich at them. But it's much worse than that. So I want to share with you a mass Border Patrol agent tackling an old gentleman, an old man, on the ground. This is what you voted for. People say they didn't. But if it's not what they voted for, then they would be on the phone with their members of Congress and senators, the ones who voted for Trump, and say, stop this. But again, it's too late for that. We need to be on the offense the way Newsom is. Oh my God, Michael McAndrews, thank you. Okay, let's play this.
Whoa, get away! Get away! Get off him! Back off! Back off! Back off! Back off! Back off! Stay back. I'm standing here with the phone. I'm standing right here with the phone in my hand. Hey, you can go inside, my friend. Hey.
Why are you arresting him?
Hey, nobody has to
What are you arresting?
Hey, wait.
How can you sleep at night?
Let me talk to him. He's my brother. Okay. Hey.
How can you sleep at
You have to stay for. Okay. We got the application ready.
What are you doing? How can you do this? How can you sleep at night? This is not okay.
I mean, how can they sleep at night? And you might say, guys, how can I sleep at night? And I think the reason has mostly to do with this community right here. How we together are focused on all we can be, which is the truth, figuring out how to create community, how to participate in protests and so on. I believe there is a peaceful protest happening this Saturday. I don't know if it's in DC or elsewhere in other cities. I'll let you know more tomorrow. But remember, we are PRISM mates. PRISM. We are focused on health. We care about our physical health, our relational health, intellectual health, spiritual health, and mental health. And I'm going to hit more on these tomorrow. That's how I get up in the morning. That's how I sleep at night. Now, it is time for Crazy Town. Crazy Town is us trying to look back on this, and maybe we'll try to ignore it, just like we tried to. You remember how bad COVID was, and we try not to think about that? How bad we felt during the lockdowns and during people dying and being sick and not being able to be around their family and all of that. Remember that? I try not to think about it, right? It was hard. So it's possible no one's going to want to talk about this guy when he's gone. And that is probably the reason why, and maybe we will for a while. It's probably the reason why history repeats itself, because we don't remember how bad it is. In fact, that's why after the Biden campaign, people had forgotten how bad Trump was. They had forgotten it, and he's worse now. But here's what's crazy. What a narcissistic child this man is. What's crazy is this man is a clown in burnt sienna makeup who is one of the stupidest people I have ever seen, who uses his money and his bullying to get people to submit. He even has capitalists down on their knees. He doesn't have us. How strong are we? How undesperate are we? This man is a giant black hole of need. He is fucking miserable all the time, and that is why he is so aggressive. So I want you to remember what a loser he is when you see this.
Be here as we officially announce the incredibly talented artists who will be celebrated later this year at the 2025 Kennedy Center Honors. It's going to be a big evening. I've been asked to host. I said, I'm the president of the United.
Okay, passive voice. I've been asked to host. He runs the Kennedy Center. Did he look in the mirror and say, would you like to host? And to the reflection back say, yes, gorgeous? Okay, continue.
United States. Are you fools asking me to do that? Sir, you'll get much higher ratings. I said, I don't care. I'm president of the United States. I won't do it. They said, please. And then Susie Wells said to me, sir, I'd like you to host. I said, okay, Susie, I'll do it. That's the power she's got. But I just, so I have agreed to host. Do you believe what I have to do? And I didn't want to do it, okay? They're going to say, he insisted. I did not insist. But I think it will be quite successful, actually. It's been a long time. I used to host the Apprentice finales, and we did rather well with that. So I think we're going to do very well.
Very crazy. And add one more thing. He was also complaining that he was never given a Kennedy Center honor himself. Because, of course, he's such an artiste. Love you guys. I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good Thursday night. And remember, today, 11:30 Pacific time. Tune in to wherever you can to watch Gavin Newsom's live press conference. Not to miss. Go on the offense.
Hello, prison mates. It's the Gen Taub show. Well, how come everyone? Let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There was hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Gen Taub show. Hello, prison mates. It's the Gen Taub show. Well, how come everyone? Let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There was hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Gen Taub show. Do let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There is hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Jen Taub Show. Hello, prison mates. It's the Jen Taub Show. Well, welcome everyone. Let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There is hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Jen Taub Show. Hello, prison mates. It's the Jen Taub Show. Well, welcome everyone. Let's learn about what is happening in politics yesterday and today. There is hope, and we are together in this democracy we work for. And again, welcome to the Jen Taub Show.